truly began. For every LaSalle Green Hills alumni, that home remains within us. The LSGHAA is a union of former students, strong in faith, committed to serve, and united as one in communion. Our mission is to identify, support, and create advocacies that reflect our core Lasallian values. We serve as the bridge to the Lasallian community in the Philippines and around the world. We are a community that shares best practices, striving to be a premier union that actively promotes faith, service, and communion. Reconnect, serve, lead. Join the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association today and become our lifetime member. Animo LaSalle. A home is more than just a place. It's a foundation. It's where our bonds were forged, our values were built, and where our futures truly began. For every LaSalle Green Hills alumni, that home remains within us. The LSGHAA is a union of former students, strong in faith, committed to serve, and united as one in communion. Our mission is to identify, support, and create advocacies that reflect our core Lasallian values. We serve as the bridge to the Lasallian community in the Philippines and around the world. We are a community that shares best practices, striving to be a premier union that actively promotes faith, service, and communion. Reconnect, serve, lead. Join the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association today and become our lifetime member. Animo LaSalle. A home is more than just a place. It's a foundation. It's where our bonds were forged, our values were built.
Ano ba tayong wifi na pwede kong pagpanasan? Good evening, everyone, and we're coming to you from the Upper Deck Sports Center in Pasig City as we bring you continuing action here in the 26 EcoOil Salle Alumni Basketball League, presented by Smart Sports, and it's co-presented by Puso Pilipinas. Also brought to you by Feel Great System, Frankie's, New York Buffalo Wings, Jerry's Grill, Titan, Blue Fire LPG, and Star Margarine. Organized by Kings of the Court PH and Sports Plus PH in partnership with the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association. Our game at hand right now is Batch 2005 against TAD. Quick look, of course, at our standings right now. With the way things are going, these two teams are in a collision course and heading into the playoffs, of course. Right now, Batch 2005 still undefeated at 2-0, while TAD with an even 1-1 record. My name is Yaga Del Paz, bringing you the action from courtside here at Upper Deck Sports Center East Court. First 3 points of the ball game for TAD, wearing the all-green uniforms, while Batch 2005 wearing their white tops with dark green shorts. Carl Santos drive to the basket with a show and go, gives it up to Kenzo Villanueva, who gets fouled. Will take two from the free throw line. Kenzo Villanueva, a mobile big man here for Batch 2005. The leading rebounder for Batch 05 this season at 13.5 rebounds per game. Split from the free throw line for Villanueva. Now here comes TAD. They give it up to Bernardo. Bernardo swings it to the corner. Three-pointer. Boom, baby! And that's Mark Benedict Feliciano. Or check that. That was Marion Alaras knocking down that corner three to make it 6-1. Carl Santos gives it up to Chiefy. Miguel Vasquez now to the corner. Back to Carl Santos. Drives. Gets the heavy defense of Johan Montes. Expect nothing less from Coach K, as he is fondly called, driving with reckless abandon. Vasquez, the leading scorer for Batch 05, second leading scorer rather, missing from the wing. Now Vasquez gets the rebound. Vasquez pushing the pace. 3-on-3. They go back to Vasquez with a right-handed finish. Nifty assist coming from Joseph Manahan. 6-3. Down to a 3-point deficit for Batch 05. Lina, the floater, rattles out and trickles back in. It's now an 8-3 lead for TAD. Coach K throws the ball away, and now here comes the attack. Kenzo Villanueva by his lonesome. Left-handed finish missed by Iman Campos. Great recovery from Batch 2005. Manahan gives it up to Chiefy. Chiefy off the window, misses. Rebound, Johan Montes. TAD trying to extend their advantage. Could be a high of 11. Three-pointer missed by Alares. Carl Santos pushing the tempo. Santos slaloming through, but misses at the finish. Villanueva feeds Carl Santos down low. 8-5, down to a 3-point ball game. 17 to shoot for TAD. They send the ball down low. Long two. Johan Montes whiffs up an air ball. Coach K on it, gives it up to Kenzo Villanueva. Manahan with 14 to shoot. Santos, eye in the sky find here to Chiefy. Chiefy brings it down and had the ball stripped from him. Here's a 3-on-3 and stolen away by Kenzo Villanueva. Vasquez to Santos. Santos diving. Great trail job by Kenzo Villanueva, and he gets fouled. Eight to 5 is our count. It's going to be a baseline inbound here for batch 05. Rocha. Villanueva for 3. Short. Great tap back. Going back to Vasquez. Shot clock down to 12. Rocha. Leaner 3. Rattles out. Johan Montes with the rebound. Brian Lina. Momentarily lost the basketball. Feeds it down low. And a miss from Oscar Maglalang. Carl Santos on the counter. Santos. Leaner. 2+1 for Coach K. Chance for batch 05 to tie this ball game up with this bonus free throw by Carl Santos. Giosia replacing Miggy Rocha. Santos short on the bonus. TAD clinging on to this precarious 1-point lead. Shot clock at 16 for the green shirts. They kick it out to Lina. Lina with 10 to shoot. Little bit of hesitation there for TAD on that offensive set. There's a foul whistled on that rebounding play called against Johan Montes. And Montes will sit out of the ball game, replaced by Julio Hulongbayan. Carl Santos drops the ball down low for Chiefy. Miguel Vasquez scores down low. It's now a 1-point lead for batch 05. Lina straightaway jumper. No good. And now Carl Santos slaloming through the defense once more. Santos fouled before the shot. It's going to be 3 team fouls against TAD. Shot clock at 18 for batch 05. They go to Santos. Santos fakes, drives, drops it off. Miguel Vasquez, the recipient of those dunker spot, finds down low. Counterattack, Lina misses. Gavino with the rebound. Carl Santos surveying the floor. Giosia feeds Gavino. Baby hook off the mark. Here comes TAD. They go to Lina. They swing it to Oscar Maglalang. Now they go back to Lina at the right wing. Shot clock down to 9. Lina fades, fires, couldn't knock it in. Vasquez with the rebound. Santos, Sia. They go back to Santos. Extra pass to Kenzo Villanueva. Shot clock down to 12. Santos trying to make a move at the left lane. Jumper off the window. The bank is open for batch 2005. And they extend their advantage. 13-8 with 2 minutes and 35 left in the opening frame. TAD calls timeout. We'll be right back as we take a look at this EcoOil replay. That banker for Coach K. We'll be back after this break. First quarter of action continues from the Upper Deck Sports Center East. It's a 13-8 lead, batch 05 over TAD. As we continue action in the 26th EcoOil 1 LaSalle Alumni Basketball League. And Coach K, Carlos Santos, back-to-back hits. Earlier forcing that timeout on TAD, and now to extend this batch 2005 lead to 7 points. Santos, ahead play, and see you later, says Coach K. 17-8, 9-point spread in favor of batch 2005. Lina lost the basketball, and another steal by Santos, but a counter steal completed by Julio Hulongbayan. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Downhill attack by Maglalang, sends it back to Campos, too strong. Gavino with the rebound. Santos slowing things down. Santos changing pace. Santos off the window as he gets the hoop, the harm, the 3-point play the hard way. Carl Santos doing Carl Santos things. 11-point advantage for batch 05. Santos once again misses that bonus free throw. 11-point lead for batch 2005. Lina sends it out to Julio Hulongbayan. Cross-court pass to Reyes. Iman Campos thought about the shot, gives it back to Reyes. Misses that 3-point attempt. Fresh entry here for Pat Hiron for batch 2005, as well as Urban Villa. Santos fakes the shot, decides to pull back. Hiron now to Sia. Long two off to the right. 40 seconds left here in the first period. Lina, rack attack, inside hand finish with the left hand. Half a minute left here in the opening frame. 9-point lead for batch 05 over TAD. Santos, 3-pointer, too sharp. Great recovery here by TAD. Iman Campos drops it off. Reyes, left-hander, won't go in, and Sia with an outlet pass. 12 seconds left. Shot clock is off for batch 05, but Urban Villa with an early offense there, but misses from the left baseline. Campos, ill-advised 3, and that will end quarter number 1. Batch 2005 leading by 9 against TAD, 19-10. Don't go anywhere. We got second quarter of action after this EcoOil replay of that Carl Santos getaway finish with the right hand. At the end of 1, batch 2005 leading TAD 19-10. Don't go anywhere. We got more action from the 26th EcoOil 1 LaSalle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports when we return. Big score. Big score. Buti hindi mo na-encounter yung mga 26 EcoOil 1 LaSalle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports is co-presented by Puso Pilipinas, brought to you also by Feel Great System, Frankie's New York Buffalo Wings, Jerry's Grill Titan, Blue Fire LPG, and Star Margarine. Organized by Kings of the Court and Sports Plus PH in partnership with the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association. Second quarter of action is now underway here inside the Upper Deck Sports Center East Court. Batch 2005 leading TAD 90-12. Once again, my name is Iago Del Paz, bringing you the action from courtside. Jonathan Crisologo, fresh entry here for batch 2005. Crisologo, baseline drive, too strong, and now counter attack here by TAD. Fresh entry also for John Edward Reyes. Three-pointer. Left short by Daniel Reyes. Now batch 05. They feed Villa downstairs. Decides to retreat and throws the ball away. Campos gave it up here for Iman Campos. So that's Jake Campos to Iman Campos earlier. But it results in a turnover for TAD. Now batch 05. Sia. They go to Villa. Villa fakes a shot and anticipated well by Daniel Reyes. Tried to feed the ball to John Edward Reyes but lost the basketball at the sideline, though tapped out of bounds by match 2005. Shot clock reads 19 for TAD. 3 on the way. Daniel Reyes left it short. Now batch 2005. Directing traffic here. They go to Sia. Now down low. Gavino. Short arms that layup. Asking for a foul, but referees say play on. Now they go to Daniel Reyes. Campos. Now outside to John Edward Reyes. Shot clock reads 10. The runner. Off the mark for John Edward Reyes. Crisologo recovers the loose ball. John Crisologo to Villa. Hiron fakes the pass and gets fouled on the way up by Julio Hulongbayan. Two free throws on the way for Pat G. Patrick Hiron averaging 9 points together with 11 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1 steal a ball game. Seven minutes and 12 before we hit the halftime break. Batch 2005 leading TAD in a palindrome score, 21-12. Once again, this is Diego Del Paz bringing you the action from courtside here at the Upper Deck Sports Center. Shot clock down to 10, and that shot goes wayward and out of bounds for Julio Hulongbayan. So far, batch 2005 in firm control of this one. Save, of course, that 6-1 start earlier on a pair of 3-pointers for TAD. Hiron misses that 3. Counter-attack here by TAD. Shovel pass. The floater by John Edward Reyes was iron deficient and recovered by batch 2005. Villa downstairs to Richard Gavino. And he gets fouled. And Richard Gavino will head to the line. He's the third leading rebounder this season for batch 05 at 9 rebounds a game. First free throw to no avail, unfortunately, for Gavino. Gavino goes 0 for 2, but Crisologo with the offensive rebound. Shot clock down to 9. They feed Sia. Sia hesitates at first. Knocks down the triple. 1, 2, 3. Gio Sia. Leave him open and he will take it and make it. Another stop here by batch 2005. Sia. Could he make it double? Yes, sirree! Gio Sia starting to rattle off a couple of 3-pointers for batch 2005. Alaras gave it up to Brian Lina. Cross-court pass goes to Ray Kakayurin. Kakayurin stepping through, but first a foul called against batch 2005. We got a timeout on the floor with 5 minutes and 24 left in the second period. Batch 2005 leading TAD 27-12 as we take a look at Gia. A little bit of hesitation, looked at his teammates at the bench, and he goes for his bang, bang, boom moment. Back in the action here inside the Upper Deck Sports Center in Pasig City. And Batch 2005 gets the possession back coming off that timeout called by TAD. Batch 2005 leading 27-12. We're down to the last 5 minutes of the second period. They feed the ball down low, and they've been spamming that play throughout most of this game. You know, the guard finding Miguel Vasquez down at the dunker spot. 29-12. Shot up and no good for Johan Montes. Second try off the glass. Count it for Brian Lina. 4 minutes and 30 left here in the second period. Sia sending it over to the left wing to Crisologo. Vasquez recovers. And great read there by Brian Lina. And it's a see you later for TAD. Still down big, but at least they cut this deficit. 29-16. It's down to a 13-point ball game. Hiron. Nice feed to Vasquez. Makes an extra pass to Sia. Could he make it a trifecta of makes, but left it short from the right elbow. Alaras sneaking through the defense and scoring. 29-18 with 3:51 left here in the second, and Batch 2005 calls this timeout. We will return in a moment. This is the 26 EcoOil One Salle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports. Batch 2005 leading TAD 29-18. Pat Hiron coming off their own timeout. Hiron rises, but his three-pointer rattles out. Brian Lina feeds Montes. They go to the corner. Alaras for three. No siree. Miguel Rocha with the rebound. Carl Santos hesitates, changes pace and direction, kicks it out to Hiron. Now Crisologo calling for calm. Crisologo dumps it to Vasquez. Shot clock down to 10. Rocha down low, gets hammered across the arm by Jason De La Cruz. Miguel Rocha going to the free throw line for a pair of freebies. Rocha this season averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds in nearly 14 minutes of play. So far has 1 assist to his name, but misses the first of 2 free throws. Rocha goes 1 out of 2. 30-18, a 12-point advantage for Batch 2005. Down to the last 2 minutes and 54 of the second period. Now Carl Santos. Santos waits, changes pace, feeds Vasquez. Back to Santos. 14 to shoot. Carl Santos from the foul line, knocks it in. Coach K on fire this evening. 12 points already with 2 rebounds, 3 assists. 15 seconds on the shot clock now for TAD. And Seth Manahan called for that last foul, a pushing variety. 13 foul on batch 05. 10 to shoot. Kakayurin rises for 3, left it short. Hiron with a rebound. Santos making his move. Nice find to Manahan, but Butler fingers that basketball. TAD on the counter attack. Lina trying to find an opening here. Lina kicks it out to De La Cruz. Elbow 3. Once again, no siree, no dice for TAD. And that was 2 out of 11 now for TAD from beyond the arc. Rocha, leaner 3. Bang! Bang! Boom! 35-18, batch 2005 in firm control of this one. A minute and 15 left here in the second quarter. Alaras baseline drive and stops the bleeding for TAD. 4 on 5 here for batch 2005. Now full strength as Vasquez crosses the timeline. Hiron, cross-court pass back to Santos. They go back to Hiron. Another 3 from the elbow. No. Long rebound, Brian Lina. Lina sneaking through. Kyle Santos with the rejection. Sends it back all the way to LaSalle Green Hills. .15 advantage by batch 05. Kakayurin driving left. Santos again bothering that shot. Montes had the ball stripped by Manahan. Half a minute left. Santos to Manahan and he gets contact. And the foul is called against Marian Alaras. .3 left. And Manahan will head to the line for 2. Seth Manahan, 6 points. Half a rebound and 1.5 assists per game average in the first 2 wins of batch 2005 this season. Manahan hits 1 out of 2. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical here for TAD, which after a hot 6-1 start, now seeing themselves behind the 8 ball at the moment. 5 seconds on the shot clock. De La Cruz, emergency 3 misses. Santos feeds Vasquez. 1 second left. The runner at the buzzer. Not enough to roll in for Chiefy. At the halftime break, batch 2005 leading TAD 36-20. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more action from the 26 EcoOil 1 LaSalle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports on the other side of this break.
A home is more than just a place. It's a foundation. It's where our bonds were forged, our values were built, and where our futures truly began. For every LaSalle Green Hills alumni, that home remains within us. The LSGHAA is a union of former students, strong in faith, committed to serve, and united as one in communion. Our mission is to identify, support, and create advocacies that reflect our core Lasallian values. We serve as the bridge to the Lasallian community in the Philippines and around the world. We are a community that shares best practices, striving to be a premier union that actively promotes faith, service, and communion. Reconnect, serve, lead. Join the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association today and become our lifetime member. Animo LaSalle.
This is the 26 EcoOil 1 LaSalle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports and co-presented to you by Puso Pilipinas. Also brought to you by Feel Great System, Frankie's New York Buffalo Wings, Jerry's Grill, Titan, Blue Fire LPG, and Star Margarine. Organized by Kings of the Court and Sports Plus PH in partnership with the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association. We start the third quarter of action with Batch 2005 leading TAD 36-20. My name is Zago Del Paz, bringing you the action from the Upper Deck Sports Center East in Pasig City. Leading scorers so far for both teams. For Batch 2005, Carl Santos with 12, Miguel Vasquez with 8, and Gio Sia with 6. For TAD, that's Marion Alaras with 10, Brian Lina with 8, and Iman Campos with 2. Quick look at our stats so far. 2005, 43% from the field in general, while TAD with a paltry 23%. That's why they're behind the 8 ball at the moment. In terms of rebounding, 2005, that's 27 rebounds versus 22 for TAD, and 2 blocks already for 2005. Points in the paint lorded over by 2005, 18-8, especially due to Carlos Santos's exploits, as well as Miguel Vasquez's baskets from the dunker spot. Points off turnovers, 13-8, taking advantage of those 8 turnovers by TAD. And of course, fast break points, 16-6, especially that we've seen that Carlos Santos has been a menace in terms of those fast break attacks. Now back to the live action here. TAD trying to make headway here. Brian Lina gets the hoop, the harm, the 3-point play the hard way for TAD as they are now down by 13 points. A baker's dozen deficit. Brian Lina takes and makes the bonus. Brian Lina this season averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Well below his season averages in his output tonight, now with 13 points and 2 rebounds. Seth Manahan, the floater, automatic inside that shaded lane. 42-28. Batch 2005 still reigning supreme. 15 on the shot clock for TAD. They feed the ball inside to Johan Montes. They try to find the ball down low to Ninoy Hulongbayan, who misses from inside the paint. 7 minutes and 37 left here in the third period. We see the first entry here in the second half, by the way, for Michael Kribe. And the 3-pointer is good, courtesy of Daniel Reyes. And that is just the 4th 3-pointer for TAD this evening. Cross-court pass goes to Kribe. Kribe quickly marked by Jake Campos. Carl Santos trying to slice through the defense, but his pocket was picked by Brian Lina. Lina against Kenzo Villanueva. Great stop from Villanueva. Under 7 minutes left here in the third quarter. 42-31. Daniel Reyes drills the triple. Back-to-back hits for TAD. Dangerous territory here for batch 2005 as their lead has shrunken to 8 points. And Villanueva lost the basketball. Daniel Reyes against Manahan. Helter-skelter basketball here, and Cribe recovers the loose ball. Carl Santos goes downhill. Santos hangs in the air, gets fouled. Nifty play from Carl Santos, and he will head to the line for two. Pat Hiron replaces Michael Cribe. Six minutes and 18 left here in the third. Santos couldn't hit those free throws. Goes 0 for 2 from the line. 0 for 4 for the ball game. Brian Lina floats it up and makes it. Down to a 6-point ball game. TAD was down big early. We'll check in the moment what was the biggest lead for 2005. Match 2005 earlier. It was at 17 points. TAD slowly chipping away at this one. Carl Santos uses the glass and stops the bleeding for batch 2005. 8-point lead for the white shirts. Santos gets a steal. Heads this 3-on-3 fast break. Feeds Chiefy. Great trail job by Miguel Vasquez. It's back to a 10-point lead. Double-digit lead for batch 2005. Lina drives left. And that shot off the window rolls out. A pushing foul called against Kenzo Villanueva. Seth Manahan checks out and replaced by Urban Villa. Baseline out here for TAD. Lina at the top of the key from foul line, from inside the keyhole, and drills it in. 8-point ball game. And again, they're spamming that play to Vasquez, but couldn't make that shot from inside the paint. Daniel Reyes. 1, 2, 3. And it's down to a 5-point ball game. The closest that TAD has gotten to batch 2005 since the first quarter of play. And Hiron was able to draw that foul. Coming up next in our penultimate game here at the Upper Deck Sports Center East. That's 6100 facing Fresco PGMC. Later on tonight, it will be Jiminy Hole Pizza against Six Eyes to close out our ball games here in our featured court, our show court for this weekend. And it's down to a 7-point ball game. TAD now. Oh, what a play there. The flyby and the shot off the glass and in, courtesy of Brian Lina. Villa to Hiron. Hiron drops it off. Vasquez. They kick it out. Carl Santos from that left elbow. 50-43 is our count. Less than 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Lina with the behind the back pass. They go to Ninoy Hulongbayan. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Lina Attacks from left to right. Lina fades, fires, couldn't knock it in. Kenzo Villanueva with the rebound. Now Carl Santos trying to attack right. Had the door shut on him. Santos to Villa. Back to Santos. Thought about the three. Now to Hiron. Elbow left three. And it goes high and above the board. Recovered by TAD. Iman Campos settles things down. Alaras back to Lina. Lina uses the seam. Lina tried to go glass. Not enough English on that one. Carl Santos feeds Vasquez. Extra pass to Villa. And he shuffled his feet like a deck of cards, and our officials caught with their eagle eyes. Richard Gavino and Jonathan Crisologo re-enters the fold for batch 2005. Ray Kakayurin to Lina. There's an offensive foul called against Ray Kakayurin on that illegal pick that displaced Carl Santos. 7-point ball game here in favor of batch 2005. Villa sends it to Hiron, and an offensive foul called against Richard Gavino. One minute and 54 left here in the third quarter. So for batch 2005, trying to extend their winning run to 3 after wins over 6100 and Fresco PGMC in their 2 opening assignments, while TAD trying to recover from that loss against Fresco PGMC. Minute and 30 left here in the third quarter. Santos makes his move. Drives, stops on a dime but misses. And Richard Gavino getting the cleanup job and the score down low. Minute and 12 left here in the third period. TAD down 9. They go downstairs. Jake Campos with the score. Under a minute left here in the third. Carl Santos sends it over to Hiron at the right corner. Now Villa, favorite spot on the floor. And now you know why. And drills it in from just outside the foul lane. 40 seconds left. Kakayurin feeds Campos. Campos with an off-balance shot. Recovery by Johan Montes, who misses from point blank. Carl Santos against 3 defenders. There's a reach and foul called against TAD. And the foul, a blocking variety called on Brian Lina, TAD's leading scorer, second leading scorer this season with 20 points per ball game with 9 rebounds and 4.0 assists. That was the last foul to give for TAD this quarter. Shot clock at 10. 6 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Santos attacks. The jumper off glass. Getting the bump, the bucket, and the chance for that bonus. The triple B special for Coach K. .1 seconds remaining, and Santos finally makes a free throw this evening after 4 misses. So he's now 1 out of 5 tonight from the 4.5 meter line. Shot clock is off for TAD. Alaras slaloming through the defense. Kakayurin, elbow 3! Yes, sirree! And that will end 3 quarters of action. Batch 2005 still reigning supreme over TAD, 57-48. after 30 minutes of action. As we take a look at this replay brought to you by EcoOil, Chiefy Vasquez, or that was Urban Villa rather, knocking it down from just outside the free throw lane. After 3, that's batch 2005 57, TAD 48. We'll be back with fourth quarter of action. Fourth quarter of action now underway from the Upper Deck Sports Center in Pasig City. This year 26th EcoOil One Salle Alumni Basketball League presented by Smart Sports, co-presented by Puso Pilipinas. Also brought to you by Feel Great System, Frankie's New York Buffalo Wings, Jerry's Grill, Titan, Blue Fire LPG, and Star Margarine. Organized by Kings of the Court and Sports Plus PH in partnership with the LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association. TAD now down by 6 points, 57 to 51. Carl Santos trying to extend the batch 2005 lead to no avail. My name is Zeko Del Paz, bringing you the action for the last 3 games of the day from our featured court, the Upper Deck Sports Center East. Santos feeds the ball to Vasquez. They go to Crisologo. Crisologo has the range, but was a little too sharp on that jumper. Giosia returns to replace Urban Villa. Eight and 35 remaining here in the fourth and final quarter. Lina trying to go over that screen. Behind the back pass goes to Iman Campos. Shot clock down to 12. Nice cut to the basket for Iman Campos, showing us why he is the third leading scorer with 20 points per ball game this season. Oh, and we got some physicality going on downstairs away from the basketball. Foul is tagged on Iman Campos. Jostling downstairs against Richard Gavino. Miguel Rocha returns to the ball game for Gavino, bringing some mobility to the big man spot, and Vasquez missing from the baseline. Rocha feeds Vasquez. Classic combo for batch 2005, and we got a foul on the floor. Vasquez now at 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists to his name. Not exactly his usual numbers of 25 points, 4 rebounds in nearly 19 minutes of action. Makes both to make it 18 points to his name, closing in on his season averages. Lina, straightaway 3, and buries it, making the batch 2005 defense pay. 7.5 to go here in this ball game. And we will have another interesting battle. 6100 taking on Fresco PGMC in our penultimate match here at the East Court of Upper Deck Sports Center. And the getaway move by Iman Campos. That was a nifty head pass coming from Jake Campos. 7 minutes left here in the fourth. Carl Santos too sharp on that left wing jumper. Iman Campos goes to Lina. Lina trying to find an opening. They feed it to Kakayurin. They go downstairs. Baseline J. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Won't go in for Jake Campos. Now Crisologo. with a spin seal. Moves to the front court for batch 2005. Crisologo to Gio Sia. Sia directing traffic. Rocha. They go downstairs for Crisologo, but read perfectly by TAD. They go on the counter offensive. And the floater. And it's an offensive foul for Iman Campos. Miguel Rocha giving up his body on that last play to save this advantage by batch 2005. Now down to a point, 59-58. We are going down the wire in this one as day turned into night here in Pasig City. Once again, reminder to everyone, 6100 versus Fresco PGMC in our upcoming ball game. 6:04 remaining here in the fourth. Ball nearly tamped away by Daniel Reyes. Recovered by Carl Santos. And a holding foul called on Daniel Reyes. 5 minutes and 56 left in the ball game. And this one hanging in the balance with batch 2005 holding on to this 1 point advantage. Santos slicing through that defense like a hot knife through butter. Fails to make the finish, but will earn a trip to the 4.5 meter spot. Carl Santos this season averaging 35 points to go along with 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Top 4 in those categories. And leading in both points and assists. Not to mention, of course, 2 steals a game. And hits that second free throw K-style to double the batch 2005 lead to 60-58. Remember, they led by as much as 17 points in this one. 5:34 remaining. The floater is an air ball for Brian Lina. Reyes launches the 3. Couldn't get to connect. Carl Santos. Getaway move once again. Makes it a 4-point lead. 62-58 for batch 2005. Back-to-back empty trips here so far for TAD. And there is a foul called against Pat Hiron. Kenzo Villanueva in for Miguel Rocha. Twelve seconds on the shot clock here for Lina and the rest of TAD. 7 to shoot. Lina kicks it out. Daniel Reyes left it short. Offensive rebound, Jake Campos. Fresh 14 on their shot clock. On the recycle, Daniel Reyes missing that wing jumper. Now Carl Santos going for the rack attack despite 2 defenders on him. But nice feed to Chiefy. Miguel Vasquez again. Now with 20 points to match his season average. Iman Campos kicks it out to Jake Campos. Daniel Reyes. No hesitation 3, but left it short. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for TAD. They go to Brian Lina. Lina inside the keyhole. Feeds the ball to Iman Campos. Campos gets bothered by the batch 2005 defense. And a double foul is called. And the foul is on Pat Hiron, batch 2005, and Johan Montes of TAD. Shot clock. Oh, it's going to be batch 2005 basketball. 4 minutes and 12 remaining. And batch 2005 clinging on to the 6-point advantage. Carl Santos directing traffic here for batch 2005. Santos uses that Villanueva screen. They kick it out to Sia. Corner 3, Pat G. No siree. Rebound, Ninoy Hulongbayan. They push the tempo. 2-on-3 attack for Jake Campos. and stripped away by Giosia. 17 seconds on the shot clock here for TAD. And a steal completed by Kenzo Villanueva. Carl Santos heading the 2-on-3. Feeds Vasquez. Rim running. The hoop. The harm. The three-point play the hard way. But it seems to be a little bit of bad news here as Vasquez seems to be favoring one of his legs. His left hamstring there. After that finish earlier. And Vasquez trying to walk it off at the moment. And looks like Vasquez asking to be subbed out. It's going to be Richard Gavino replacing Vasquez for the bonus free throw. And I've known Miguel Vasquez, and he's been one of the more durable players I've known, but seems to be bothering him quite a bit. Bonus free throw missed by Richard Gavino. And now it's an 8-point advantage here for batch 2005 against TAD. Straight away three, and a foul called against Carl Santos on the closeout. It's going to be 3 free throws right here for Brian Lina. Lina, 1 out of 3 so far from the line. Lina now with 23 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists tonight. Lina so far 1 out of 3. And here comes the bonus shot, the 3rd free throw. But goes 1 out of 3 from the line in total. 66-59. Santos swings it to Hiron. Back to Santos. Now Giosia. Automatic, supersonic on that left wing jumper. 68-59. Rack attack there. Iman Campos was able to fish for a foul. And the foul is on Kenzo Villanueva. And that is Villanueva's 3rd personal foul. Struggles continue for TAD from the free throw line. They are now 2 out of 5. Take that, 3 out of 6 from the free throw line. 6-8, 6-0 our count as we approach the final 2 minutes and 47, the midnight hours of this battle. Kenzo Villanueva butterfingers that basketball. Now Brian Lina to Kakayurin. Kakayurin met the brick wall named Richard Gavino. Now Carl Santos slowing things down wisely for batch 2005. Hiron to Santos. Santos calling for a clear out. Shot clock down to 10. Santos with the isolation against Alaraz. Santos drives through the lane, bobbles the basketball, and he gets called for a dribbling violation. Timeout called here by TAD with 2:09 left here in the 4th and final quarter. As we take a look at this instant replay brought to you by EcoOil. That wing jumper from Giosia will return in a moment. Coming up next, immediately following this one, 6100 taking on Fresco PGMC in another battle here in the 39 and below recreational division. Also part, curiously, of Group 16 here in Window 1. So Fresco PGMC 1-1, while 6100 trying to look for their first win in 3 outings. That will be coming your way shortly after this one. But first, 2 free throws awarded to Daniel Reyes. 4 out of 7 from the line for TAD this evening. Well, match 2005, 9 out of 20. So neither team shooting that well from the charity stripe, as we are down to the last 2 minutes of this ball game, with batch 2005 clinging on to this precarious 7-point lead. Shot clock down to 5. Santos attacks, fades, fires, drills it in, and that might be the early dagger here for batch 2005 as they lead by 9. Empty possession there as Daniel Reyes short arms that 3-point attempt. Santos gets held across the arm by Daniel Reyes. Both teams already in penalty, and that will force Coach K to the free throw line for a pair of freebies, which hasn't been so free for him tonight. Before this one, Coach Carl Santos, 2 out of 7 from the line, tries to go K style again but hits the heel of the rim. Now 2 out of 8 for the ball game. Make that 3 out of 9. 10-point advantage for batch 2005, now down to 8 after that coast-to-coast move by Iman Campos. Now Hiron at the front court and trying to waste away clock here for batch 2005. Hiron trying to make his move. Kicks it out to Gio Sia. Under a minute remaining here in the 4th quarter. Sia fades, fires, and knocks it in from the right baseline. And that's a turnover coming from Brian Lina, as his pass to Ray Kakayurin did not go to the intended recipient. Kakayurin zigged when he should have zagged. 35 seconds left, and this an impending victory for batch 2005. Batch 2005 are 31.9 seconds away from moving up to 3-0 at the end of window 1 of your elimination round. On the other hand, TAD will drop to 1-2 for at the end of window 1. There will be a reclassification after next weekend's matchups. Then it will be decided which teams will face each other next, and also how these teams will be grouped. Your final score here in this one, batch 2005 survives TAD's onslaught, 75-63. What has been an entertaining ball game, but one that batch 2005 has led throughout most of this one, especially starting from midway through that first quarter. Again, your final score, batch 2005 winning over TAD to remain undefeated so far after window 1, 79-63. And of course, easily our player of the ball game, Coach Carl Santos, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, flirting with a triple-double, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in this one. Coming your way next, still in the 39 and below recreational division, that is Group 16. It will be the battle between 6100 against Fresco PGMC as we continue action in the 26 EcoOil Salle Alumni Basketball League, presented by Smart Sports and co-presented by Puso Pilipinas.
A home is more than just a place. It's a foundation. It's where our bonds were forged, our values were built, and